IFBB Pro Cody Montgomery coming at you guys with a Q&A. I'm going to be doing these on the weekly, so make sure that you are subscribed to my channel to stay tuned with the latest and the greatest. So we're going to do 10 questions today. I got these off of my Snapchat, and I'll start now. The first question is from All Around Fisher. His question: what is one exercise I should add into my routine to grow my triceps? And without knowing what you're doing right now, I'll just tell you two of my favorite overall tricep exercises. Make sure that you're doing these on a good weekly basis, or at least bi-weekly. Every other week I would rather. First exercise that I really have done almost since I started lifting when I was about 14, use rope extensions. I think that is, when executed properly, one of the best overall development and detail exercises for triceps. And triceps is one of those things you have different heads of your triceps, and overall the rope is really a good one to kind of hit multiple areas of your arm. But it's also it depends on how you perform it. You can of course isolate a little bit more on one head versus another, depending on how you're leaning and etc. But that's definitely one of my biggest exercises that I try to stick in almost every arm workout. And another one is I like them. You can either do them weighted or with a machine, or just body weight, is dips. I feel when you're not leaning forward and you're leaning more, keeping your sternum a little bit more upright instead of leaning over, which is going to activate more pec. When those are performed correctly, they're one of the best overall mass exercises for your tricep. So if you aren't already throwing those in your workouts, I would highly suggest it. Now to the second question from Swole Arod 2296. Yo, what up, bro? Do you only train at Muscle Factory because Roland is your trainer? Right? Question mark. It's for the Q&A, he said. Honestly, Roland has been a huge part of my bodybuilding career. For the last few years, he of course has been either my training partner or pushing me through my workouts. Regardless of whether I'm at the gym or not, he's always been in my corner, and one of my very, I consider him a friend, not just a trainer. He's an awesome guy, and he's done a lot for me. But I would say that a reason that I do train at Muscle Factory is definitely because of Roland. He got me in the gym there and everything. But honestly, it's just the atmosphere there, and it's he lets me do my own thing, and it's been an awesome experience training out at that gym for the last couple of years. So now we're going to go on to the next question from JD Costley. He said, what is your favorite thing to have as a cheat meal? Honestly, I like a lot of things. I'm definitely a food guy. I like my food. Obviously I can diet and know when to eat and when to not. But if I'm gonna have a cheat meal, I usually stick to sushi is one of my number one go-tos. I like Chinese food. I like pizza. Italian food is definitely right up there on the list. But honestly, if it's just a go crazy cheat meal, I usually hit up Chick-fil-A or Whataburger, and late night eat. That's my weakness, I guess. Everyone's got their own, and of course, the late night Ben and Jerry's. So now we're going to go into the next question, and honestly, it's as you can see, it's a blank screen. I screenshotted it, but it doesn't have the person's name. So it is food and cheat meals, question mark. As much about food, why English muffins? That's the question. I'll put it up on the screen. English muffins, honestly, I've been eating them for years now. It's one of those things that I like. It's easy carb. I don't think that there's necessarily a right and a wrong carb. English muffins just so happen to be a carb source that I like and that digests well with me, and that I've used. But you can do tons of different sources of carbs. And why English muffins? Honestly, because I like them, and because Chris Aceto told me to eat them. So the next question is from Cole_H120. He said, how often do you max? Honestly, I don't max at all. honestly ever. It's been years at least since I have. It's kind of counterproductive to what my goals are. I'm not saying that somebody like a powerlifter shouldn't be maxing out. I think there's benefit if you're going for more strength and function as far as getting stronger. You have to go down in reps, of course, but I'm more of a high volume, trying to build muscle, trying to get the most out of my workouts, trying to get the most blood flow, which for me has worked with higher reps. But I still go low. I just won't necessarily max. If I want to go really heavy, I might do a set of 5 or 6 reps, but I usually won't go below that. Just especially just to try to stay healthy and not get hurt. So the next question is from Mikey Bana Corsi. He said, "Yo man, how does your diet change from prep to off season? ? Do you just eat whatever you want in the off season, or do you eat the same foods as you do on prep, just bigger portions for off season? Thanks." Honestly, this is a good question. I actually, will take a few months where I'm not being super strict. Of course, I'm still eating within my goals and things like that. I'm not going absolutely crazy, but I think at some point you gotta find a happy medium balance. I've been doing this for 6+ years now, so almost dieting. Not like contest prep for the last 6 years, but definitely following some kind of regimen. But I definitely think off season you should be regimented, but at times it's okay to have a little balance in your life, maybe around the holidays to eat a little bit, maybe off plan if you're not prepping, of course, if you're in the off season. But honestly, when I can, I usually stick to my diet pretty good in the off season, just because honestly you want to know what you're putting in your body to get to if you're eating say 3,000 calories a day, you really don't know what you're eating. You can't really make a lot of adjustments as far as, okay, I need to up my food if I'm not gaining weight, or I need to drop my carbs if I'm putting on fat, etc. So honestly for me, staying on a regimen is the way to go. But like I said, if you've been doing it a while, you want to have balance. You don't want to just go full on crazy full tilt and get burnt out. So there's definitely a balance with it, but eating within your means for your goals in the off season is definitely important. The next question is from Eric Mora 275, and he said, "How do I replenish my body if I puke after my workout?" This is a very good question because a lot of you guys, of course, have seen Blackstone Labs video of Ben Pokolsky, myself, and Chris Cormier training legs, and we definitely puked a little bit. I say we, plural. I puked quite a bit in that video. It's a good thing to be pushing that hard. Obviously, every day if you're puking, there's something else going on. But if you really push yourself, that's a natural instinct from your body. You just want to make sure that you do replenish it afterwards. And I would suggest a number of things. First of which being some potassium. Definitely you want to replenish the potassium. You can do that either with, of course, a supplement, a generic supplement, or you can also eat a banana. That's what I also suggest. And drinking something with some salts and some sugars is definitely smart as well. If you do actually end up puking quite a bit, I found like Gatorade or Powerade is extremely beneficial. After puking, because it has a lot of sugar, a lot of sodium, and things like that to replenish. But also I think getting a supplement in like Formula 19, I use that all the time post workout. Of course, if you puke, you want to use maybe a little bit more to replenish everything and get some more carbs in there. So definitely throw that in, to help prepare and just replenish really, what you puked up, and drink a ton of water. That's a huge one. So those 4 tips, and you'll feel, can't say you feel really good, but you'll feel a lot better, within a few hours. So now the next question is from T-Swole 7893. His question is, when you're trying to bring up a lagging muscle, like your chest for example, how would you structure the plan? Hit it 1 to 2 times a week, or up the volume, play around with trial error? Mainly asking because I do need to bring up shoulders and chest? I would say frequency is huge, especially in the off season when you have excess amount of calories coming in. You're able to grow a little bit more, repair. So yeah, I would say, me personally, I am a huge on frequency thing. If I'm trying to bring, like I mentioned previously, my arms and my chest, I will, throw some arms on the end. Like I throw biceps in on some of the back days and triceps in on, maybe a chest day. And I hit chest, a little bit on shoulder day as well, or I'll come back and I'll do 2 whole separate chest days in 1 week, and I think frequency, volume, but really focusing on what you're actually trying to train, because usually there's a reason why it's lagging. A lot of times with chest, your shoulders take over an exercise, so really focus on, if you're going in there to execute a body part that you maybe haven't been able to grow up to that point that well, really think about what you're doing in the gym, how you're performing each exercise, and really focus on trying to feel that muscle. The mind to muscle connection, I have to put a huge emphasis on it. In my own training in the last few years, it's helped tremendously. I always joke nowadays with people when they ask me, how much I lift and stuff. I probably lifted more when I was 18 than I do now, but I just know what I'm doing as far as what I'm trying to get out of the exercise now, and not, okay, I'm just gonna put, 400 pounds on the bar to try to, do a bench press for 2 reps when I'm really not getting anything out of my muscle. Now I would do something more like 225 or 275 and really try to control and explode through the movement and keep my shoulders out of it, keep my shoulder blades back, and really focus more on form rather than just pushing around weight. So that's a huge issue I've seen with a lot of the younger guys too, with certain body parts, myself included for legs. I didn't really know how to train them. I didn't know how to feel them. I was just moving around weight. Once you can figure out how to actually move weight efficiently with the muscle that you're trying to target, you're going to get a lot more effort out of your muscle, and in turn it's going to turn into a lot more muscle growth. This question is from, I'm going to put it on the screen, I don't want to butcher the name, but he said, "Hey man, keep killing it. My question is your game plan to get as big and heavy in the off season as you can, or do you maintain conditioning and gradually put on muscle and not get too far out of shape?" My game plan, I have guest posings all the way through November right now, so I definitely want to stay in somewhat decent shape. It's all within a process, of course. I need to see the bigger picture and not just focus on, okay, I got to be on stage in 3 weeks, because of course they're guest posings and not actually competitions, but I still would like to show up in a professional manner and to look the part. So I'm trying to gain muscle, but do it the right way and not really get super out of shape like I have in the past, because I really think that's super counterproductive to the overall goal. I mean, really and truly, why are you going to shove your face for six months on end and then diet for 6 months on end on almost nothing to come down, rather than staying on a pretty good regimen all year as far as not getting super out of shape, and it's just much easier to select a show and go into it and not suffer the entire prep. I mean, of course you're going to suffer, but you're not going to suffer the same if you're 30% body fat and if you're 8% body fat. So just keep that in mind, and be patient. A lot of people, they want to see huge numbers on the scale, tomorrow, and you can do that with eating food, because it's going to be right here, but you can only put on so much muscle at one time. So just keep that in mind, everyone that's watching. Okay, so this is going to be the last question for this particular video, and it's from RRP0220, and his question is, have you ever suffered an injury where you were momentarily disabled from working out, and if so, how did that alter your mindset for training? I have actually suffered a minor setback, and not many people know this story, but when I was younger, when I was I think 15, just kind of starting out, I I don't think I had competed yet. Actually, I know I hadn't competed yet. I'm thinking back now. But it wasn't a major injury, luckily. It was just a minor injury. I heard something in my back and my shoulder when I was doing the upright row on a Smith machine. I ended up hurting it. I was out for maybe 30, 60 days. It really did change my mindset a whole lot because I realized that I'm not invincible, and that no one's really invincible, but it takes maybe something like that to kind of realize, okay, I need to take a step back and I need to start, from square one as far as, really focusing on form and executing the exercise. Shortly after that, of course, I met Chris Cormier, which has been, huge in my career thus far, and, been a big mentor, and one of those guys that has really taught me, the mind to muscle connection and how important that really is, which has in turn made my training a lot safer. Knock on wood, but I haven't had any huge setbacks in the recent years, so I'm very happy for that. And but I would say that if you do suffer something, let it heal, learn from it, and don't feel like you can't throw your ego out at the door. You need to do that, and you need to step back and really focus on form, executing the exercise how you're supposed to, and research. A lot of research. You guys can, of course, I look at somebody like BPAC, just somebody that's who I look at as far as videos and things like that to really execute a movement properly. He's taught me a lot as far as pulling with the actual muscle you're supposed to work with, or pushing, depending on the body part, and being huge on the mind to muscle connection too. So there it just goes to show, there's two IFBB pros that have really instilled it in me that mind to muscle is huge, and how you actually execute the exercise. So keep that in mind on your own lifting, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll be doing lots more in the near future. I'm going to plan to be doing one of these every week or two, so make sure that you guys are following my Snapchat, which I'll throw on the screen now, and following all my other social media outlets. And make sure you guys check out the website, cody-montgomery.com, and Cody20 will actually save you 20% right now for a limited time only. So go get you some hats or some shirts or some pullovers, whatever. I appreciate everybody's support, and until next video, God bless.